TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us.
Go Tigers, go Tigers, go Tigers, go Tigers, go Tigers.
Tiger Talk.
Go Tigers, go Tigers, go Tigers, go Tigers, go Tigers.
Tiger Talk.
Go Tigers, go Tigers, go Tigers, go Tigers, go Tigers.
Tiger Talk.
Go Tigers, go Tigers.
You're now listening to Tough Tiger Talk with Big Q and the guys on the Pro Media Network.
Tiger Talk, we're in the building. What's happening, fam? Welcome to the latest installment of Tough Tiger Talk. We're in the building, man. Purple and gold, man. This one there called Ed Ogeron. Brad Davis is a game changer, baby. We'll cover that. All the latest news on your LSU Football Tigers. We in the building. I appreciate y'all signing in, joining in for this episode of Tough Tiger Talk as we return off our little hiatus. And we're gonna cover several news items as well in this one with the new signing of the new offensive line coach, Mr. Brad Davis. And Coach O is really big on him making his return. That's right, coming back home to Baton Rouge. He's going to be in the building. We're also going to cover some nice news about the unofficial visits that's been happening. A lot of stuff going on the campus of LSU. Going to talk about a lot of that. We got Uncle Mozzy and GM Kev, our key contributors, going to chime in on this episode of Tough Tiger Talk. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, and comments, put them in the comment section as we get ready to go. So big ups to our contributors, GM Kev and Uncle Mozzy. What's happening, fam? How y'all doing?
What's up, man? Doing good.
Oh, yeah. Big ups to y'all, fam. Appreciate y'all chiming in. Now, listen, fam, before we get ready to jump into this thing, I'm going to play. I got some Coach O tuned up for the family members. We're going to listen to little Coach O and see what he had to think about Mr. Brad Davis. This is a big move because pretty much what's going on at LSU is he's replacing James Craig, who was with Coach O with the program for several seasons. And, man, quick change, quick turnaround. Coach O jumped on top of it and found a really good candidate to replace the O-line coach. And a lot of people really big on Brad Davis. So before we chime in, let's listen to what Coach O had to say as he made an appearance on the Off the Bench show. Here's Coach O.
Good morning, guys. Great to be on the show. What a great weekend. We had over 1,000 campers here, 5 official visitors, several unofficial visitors. Great to have everything back to normal. What a great camp. Everybody left, got coached up, and there's a lot of smiling faces on campus this weekend.
So, Coach, I know you can't talk about, recruits specifically, but just when it comes to kind of the logistics of managing 5 official visits, and I know that unofficial visit thing was even, I think that was around like 15, or it was a huge number. What are the logistics? How do you make that happen? How do you and the staff make sure that each guy is having the experience that you want them to have when they come to commit their time there?
A lot of detail, and you got to have a support staff, and we have a huge support staff here, and Austin Thomas and Derek Finansky and Jeff Bridges. They do the logistics for us. Kiva and Olivia do all the recruiting for me. They have a recruiting staff of personnel department that Austin Thomas has hired that is fantastic. Those guys have created relationships with the parents, so when they come in here and we have to do football, they have them. And a lot of times they're just as good as recruiters as we are. So our support staff, having all the people ready, and the organization was phenomenal this weekend.
What about you, Coach? Some of my favorite videos of the weekend were you just getting to coach up the boys, man. Whether there's a great one where you're talking about like selfish penalties and everything, but it just looked like I could almost feel your excitement through the screen to have everybody back in there, hundreds of kids, so much juice in that indoor.
Yeah, you know I love it. I love getting out teaching the grass, and especially coaching fundamentals again, getting out there and coaching the young guys, and was fired up to have a lot of the top prospects in the state and in the South at our camp. And a lot of those guys were already committed to us. I was very impressed with the offensive line and defensive line, the type of players that were at the camp with the intensity level, the techniques that they were using. There were some wars going on one-on-ones. You guys saw it.
And Coach, you're exactly right. There was guys out there competing. Sometimes when you have camps and some of the bigger guys, maybe they don't compete as much. Everybody looked like they were competing. Is that something you look for when you have these camps? You want to see what kind of competitor are. If they lose the first rep, what are they going to do the second rep?
There's no question. You know, we put best against best. And it is when we pick the groups, it's the best offensive line against the best defensive line and the players that we think that are college prospects. And then within that group, we pick best against best, and we want them going. And there were some great competitive matches, which was very good for us because we come in and we watch those one-on-ones right away after practice. A lot of times we make decisions whether or not we're giving a scholarship off of those one-on-ones.
Yeah, for those that haven't seen the highlights yet, we played him yesterday, but and you're not talking about this. I am, but Quincy Wiggins and Will Campbell going toe to toe. That was iron sharpens iron. It was awesome. What about that latter part you just touched on, though? The ability to
Wiggins
earn
is a beast,
a scholarship, Coach, because there were a couple of guys that managed to work their way into getting those offers. But like, if I'm a young football player out there and I'm listening to this, could I legitimately, let's say I'm not on the radar, or maybe I'm kind of a fringe guy, like, can you earn your way to getting an offer from LSU by going, competing, and standing out at one of these camps?
It is the best way to do it, and I highly suggest it. Yeah, there are some guys, you know, we have question marks. You know, we don't know how big they are, how fast they are, how competitive they are. We don't know if they play this position or that position. We don't know their skill set, how well they move. Those are the things that we find out in camp, and we find out the intangibles. What's their makeup? You know, I went through one practice, and you know, see, Bob, you've been to my camps before. It's practice, and yeah, you better get ready. But you know, I'm really impressed with the physical conditioning of our young men and the high schools that are coming here. There are a lot of guys that they're in good shape. They're able to handle the workload, the pace of practice. Very impressed with the conditioning of most of the players.
Coach, was this the most important camp that you can remember because of the way last year played out, not having the opportunity to have this camp, not being able to really hit the road in recruiting, not being able to have guys come to your campus, so you don't really – one, you don't know the guy.
I'm going to pause it right there for a second. But, man, let's talk about that. Uncle Mozzy, we talked about this off show about Coach O basically handing out scholarships like they was record deals. Remember that? So, I mean, this is pretty interesting to hear Coach O's thought process on if you come to LSU and you have those tryouts and Coach O likes you, they go a record contract. Let's get you signed. Let's get you in the building playing for the purple and gold. What you think about that?
You know what it was? It was it reminds me of the Source Awards in '96, when Suge came out and told all the rappers, "Hey, you want nobody in your videos, all of your songs, come over to Death Row." Yeah, so he's definitely putting the call out, and I think that in my opinion, if I had that when I was in school, there's a lot of inner city kids and a lot of inner city youth that would never even have LSU on the radar because it's such a far dream to play for a D1 school. A lot of kids get discouraged. A lot of kids are like, I can't afford it. My grades may not necessarily be high enough. A lot of things that are holding back. But it's a different ball of wax. If you go to LSU, you work out directly in front of the coaches on site, and you get a scholarship off on site. At that moment, the 1.92021 student that needs that 2.5 to compete in NCAA Division I football, he has the motivation to go forward and lunge forward and complete the task and get done what he needs to get done. So what that does is that kind of squeezes the sponge and rinses out the rag and brings kids out that you wouldn't normally see. So there's a lot of undiscovered youth that's off the radar that a lot of scouts, a lot of recruiters haven't seen, that's going to come out on the battlefield and leave everything out there and potentially play football for LSU.
Yeah, I like how Coach O did it. He said it is the best way. We're gonna bring in GM Kev. GM Kev, what's your thoughts on? You heard what old Coach O was talking about, man, and you can hear the electric and fire in his voice. It was very active week for LSU, and I think one of the reporters reported over 1,000 people coming into onto the facility, and a lot of electric, a lot of stuff going on, man. And we talked about it off air about this is a big year for Coach O. He got to step up and show what we need to do. But what you thought about Coach O's breakdown right there?
Oh, I like it, Q. I mean, you could tell the energy is there.
Yep.
You know, a lot of new people, a lot of new coaches, you know, the recruits coming in, like Mozzy was talking about, like it's a different energy and they need to win this year. Like we got to get back on the plus side of it, to restore some faith in the trust. So I'm definitely looking forward to this, man, and hopefully that it all comes together. And by September, I mean, we should be looking good. I expect at least 9 or 10 wins.
No doubt about it. Some big wins, and we're gonna go over the schedule before we close out the show. But let's finish up on this interview right here by Coach O, breaking down what happened this past weekend, and also his thoughts on Coach Brad Davis. As we will cover that as well. Here we go,
guys. And two, you don't really know how much they've grown in a year because you haven't been able to see them.
Yeah, no question. It was a very important evaluation, and not some of the guys we knew that they can play. One of the things at camp is I want them to come to see the way they're going to get coached. Now, I got some new coaches here that I love, and it was an opportunity for us. Let's say a guy's committed to us. He knows he's coming to LSU, but they got a new coach. I want to show up our new coach. I believe we have a top prospect in the state of Louisiana. He hasn't met our new coach. I want him to see how he's going to get drilled, how he's going to get coached, and it's a chance for our coaches to create a personal relationship, not only with that coach, but everybody that brings the player to camp. It's a big recruiting advantage.
Talking to LSU head football coach Ed Ogeron here on Off the Bench. And, Coach, just recently there was some surprising news. James Craig, the offensive line, but then y'all acted immediately and hired away Brad Davis from Arkansas. Is Davis on campus? What has been the early returns from Coach Davis thus far?
Game changer. And everybody, all of us in the profession knew about Davis, up and coming coach from Baton Rouge. He was at Arkansas. I know several schools went after him. He wanted to come to one school, Baton Rouge, and in his interview, he reminded me a lot of the things that I thought about when I was at Miami and USC. I always wanted to be back in Baton Rouge. I always wanted to coach for the Tigers and represent the state. He has the same thing and more in his heart. He's an outstanding coach, outstanding recruiters. A lot of our guys on our team have been recruited by him. He was recruiting a lot of we had 3 offensive line recruits in. A lot of the parents already knew him. He had great relationships. So he's hit the ground running. He was able to be with his offensive line for the first time yesterday. They met him. We're going to miss Coach Craig. Coach Craig was a good guy for us, but we have some great coaching, Coach Brad Davis. I feel like we're going to hit the ground running and make some great strides.
Well, a lot of stuff going on at LSU, man, to break it down. But, if anybody don't know about Coach Davis, man, you can go and look at film. Very intense coach. Knows the game of football, man, and very passionate coach, man. And he fits well with Coach O and that staff. A lot of moving parts, man. Let's bring in the guys, Uncle Mozzy and GM Kev here to comment on what they heard from Coach O talking about Mr. Brad Davis. And, of course, they made the change to switch over from Coach Craig. Very, very surprising move to do that. And then, of course, they got a pretty damn good coach. So let's get the thought process. GM Kev, what do you think about the move to get Brad Davis over here, the coach the O-line, and Uncle Mozzy chime in behind him, if you don't mind?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love anytime you have a native that wants to come back home and help. And when he had other offers, I think it's always a great thing, That just shows you the level of respect he has for LSU and Coach O. And I see that putting a lot of emphasis on the lines from offensive and defensive line. Because I think we both know in the SEC, that's definitely where the battle is won. They don't play a lot of football like, out west where it's all wide open and it's like just run and shoot. I mean, it's very physical in the SEC, especially when it gets down to the last few games when you're battling for that seed. So I love it, man. Anytime all this new energy is coming in, new coaches bringing a new feel, and they really want to be here, I'm all for it.
Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts, man, and it's going to be interesting to see if we can put it all together at the same time. Trying to reinvent that offense, regather that energy we had a couple of years ago on that national championship run when we were just plastering, destroying, annihilating everybody in our path. Trying to
Absolutely.
recreate that offense and get that firepower back. And Coach O saying, let's run this defense. Really impressed by the defensive line as well. And the secondary, man, listen, Stingley putting on that number 7 as well. But we'll get into that. Uncle Mozzy, chime in on Brad Davis and Coach O's commentary about him being a game changer and how, a lot of people, and I've read a lot of people feel that Coach Davis is an upgrade over Craig. What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, again, he just like GM Kev said, he come back home. He's willing to help out. There's no secret. Last year, both offensively and defensively along our lines, we sucked, and that led to the overall record we had, and the complete 180-degree turnaround from the year before, when obviously we won the national championship. We were undefeated with Joe Burrow. That's the level we're trying to get back to. That's only going to be gotten through offensive and defensive line. We ran the ball with our standards. It was subpar to par at best. That's not going to cut it, especially when you're talking about perennial powerhouses in SEC, Alabama, Auburn, Georgia. It's just Florida. We've got to make sure we're all our cylinders are go. So we got to reestablish ourselves as an iron, a tough gridiron team. We got to reestablish our run dominance. And, if the passing game is there, because, our quarterback game, as we can all agree, is kind of up in the air at the moment. So we definitely going to need that offensive line and lean on him heavy to both make whoever is under center field comfortable. And we could be able to pound it on the ground, especially in tough situations and late fourth quarter when we're trying to run the clock out or goal line offense when we're trying to win tough games.
Yeah, that we definitely have to improve upon that, the offensive. But the good thing about the offensive line is those guys came back, and that unit's going to be a lot stronger. The defensive line is looking real stellar with a lot of the recruits we bringing in along with what we had. And I just think LSU is a good mix of young talent, guys that have been on the team, plus up and coming guys coming on to the team that will help LSU take that next step. And I think a lot of the focus last year, we kind of was in a malaise, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Coach O was going through personal issues as well off the field. And, it's dealing with you being the target and then, of course, Joey, all that influx of talent that end up, we had Chase opting out. We had everything was going on. We lost a lot of guys. And then, of course, Miles Brennan was a guy that I was thinking was supposed to step up. He didn't step up like he was supposed to. He had no leadership capabilities. He didn't inspire any confidence. And then we didn't really find out that guy until dribs and drabs and Max Johnson kind of took over late in toward the back end of the season. Then we say, okay, we might have something we can work with right here with some athletic ability to throw down the field. And he kind of electrified things, the reinventing of the offense, like I said before. So it's looking good. Let's move on to the next topic. We're talking about Derek Stingley and GM Kev. This one's coming at you. And of course, Uncle Mozzy can chime in as well. Stingley wearing that number 7, man. That awesome number 7, man. What do you think about that?
Tradition, baby. Like, it officially cements you as the man for that team. I think who wore it last year? I think a linebacker wore it last year. Jacoby Stevens, right? Didn't he wear 7 last year?
I'm gonna have to look it up. Was that?
I think he did.
Was that Jacoby Stevens that wore it? Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right. Go ahead, Kev.
Yeah. So that number 7 is like the leader, especially on that defensive side of the ball. It's like, I got the responsibilities. I'm the guy. Now I'm officially the guy. So once, I guess, the people that wore it before him gave approval to, like, hey, we want you to wear this. You deserve to wear this. It's a big honor, man. Because I know every school has their own thing. Some people use like the wrestling belts. Some people use like the big chain locks. And LSU got the number 7 jersey passed down. So it's tradition, baby. I love it.
Yep. I got the actual official here. It is on LSUsports.net. It has been Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu, Leonard Fournette, DJ Chark, and it was Jacoby Stevens last year.
Yep.
So
Derek
those
Stingley
are
this
those.
year.
This
Big
Derek
name.
Stingley this year. Yep, that is very big.
Big names.
But that's a lot of high praise. I was looking at a scouter's report on Stingley once he come out. They talking about top 3, top 5 pick. So I mean, the skies is Derek Stingley, and of course we have Eli Ricks there. We got quite some players in our secondary, man. It's gonna be a nice year for our secondary, man. We got to get back on Paul. We got to make this right. We got to get some big wins this year. Uncle Mozzy, coming to you on the side of the recruiting news, man. We talked about LSU hosting 5-star athlete Derek Williams for an unofficial visit, and of course you heard Coach O speak about a couple other players during that interview. What news can you share with us about recruit news that currently?
Following the recruit news so far, we got 23 confirmed kills. We've been recruiting really good in state.
Kills?
Yeah, confirmed kills. Yeah. So we got 23 confirmed kills so far. We got guys like Sage Ryan out of Lafayette, listed as an athlete, 5'11", 195. Plays free safety, could probably go a couple of different ways at that 195. Just depends on how he matures when he comes in. We got a pretty stout D tackle coming in at 6'4", 299. D tackle coming out of high school. So I mean, that's going to be a potential stout run blocker moving forward. Like I said, we've been recruiting really, really good in state. We got a couple people. We got eyes on a couple people that could potentially come through. They're actually unsigned, but we do have a couple finalists. So I mean, it just remains to be seen how we're going to settle that and who we're going to get these last scholarships to, and who we're going to get signed to us over the next month or two. But it definitely is about to hit the fan in a major way out in Baton Rouge. But 23 we looking solid so far. New blood coming in. I got an entire off season. We get to go to camps. We get to do everything that we kind of missed last year. Fans will be coming back in this year.
Yes.
So I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm stoked. If that you see what I did there.
Yes.
Stoked.
I'm stoked for this season.
Kev, what you think?
I got a question for Mozzy on the recruiting end. Mozzy, have you heard
Yeah.
any information on Shamar Stewart? Because he went for the visit, and I think LSU was thinking like, we got him, 5-star DN out of Florida, top guy. He had a visit and it didn't go so well. So did you get any information, or have you heard anything about Shamar Stewart?
Well, not as of lately. The last news we got on him was over on the 7th. He had a couple days ago. He visited LSU, but he's still they still got on the warm list. But I mean, he's also got offers from Clemson, Georgia, Miami, Texas A&M. So when you're looking at it that way, LSU is a daunting prospect. I mean, it sounds good, but I mean, he can definitely go somewhere like Miami and become the man. There's almost nothing there. He's got Georgia, he's got Clemson, he's got A&M, which I think A&M might be, pretty last on the list. But I mean, hey, he just had a visit over on June 4th, so I think that we're in contentions, but we do have a lot of competition in that same race. Good thing is it's only one other SEC or two other SEC opponents, but I mean, Georgia is the only one I'd be worried about him going to. Texas A&M. I'm sorry, the only one I'd be worried about him going to, because Georgia would be obviously in the East, so he wouldn't hurt us, in the future. Because I think he definitely would blossom into becoming a really, really good college player.
Yeah, they have Miami is in the front run. I think they're talking, like the writers are saying, that he's leaning on Miami. It's not official yet, but I was trying to see, what happened, and what you said makes sense, that he can immediately come in and have playing time, because they lost two defensive ends in the draft, right?
Yeah, and then listen, and I hate to be that guy, but there's another element here that we really got to look at, right? Understand, Miami is the top fish in their conference, or close to the top fish in their conference, and I mean, you can easily leapfrog into the NFL coming from Miami. So although LSU may give him a better overall chance of getting to the league, look at where he would go to college. Right now, everybody's trying to get to Miami. It's warm weather climate. College co-eds is the scene. It's the party scene. It's the atmosphere. So you got a guy so highly recruited. He's a Florida kid. He's got an opportunity to go to Miami on a free ride. You know, I mean, come on now. It's no secret. He'll be well taken care of down in Miami. He already knows the terrain. It'd be easy for his family to come and visit him. It's a hump to come from Okopotoco or wherever he's from, Florida, all the way to Baton Rouge, you know, and travel road games. Miami is in-state.
He's a
Powerhouse conference. Powerhouse conference. It's the life. It's the limelight. And for that reason, you're asking a 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid to, hey, I don't want you to go to Miami where you see everybody on Instagram, little baby, and you see everybody down. Yeah, right. Think about it. Don't go there.
It makes sense.
Right. We want you to come to country crime-ridden Baton Rouge, you know?
Yeah.
Right. You see what I'm saying? No offense, Baton Rouge. Hey, everybody in Baton Rouge. Hey, I'm from New Orleans. We just the country of crime-ridden. But I'm saying, think about the psyche of a 17-year-old if you present him with those two options. Now, on the back end, you got to kind of wrap it around and say, hey, well, we're a perennial powerhouse in a perennial conference that puts out, you know, people, dozens and dozens of players, especially at your position annually. You know, I guess, but, you know, I don't know how that's going to translate to a 17-year-old that has an opportunity to go play in one of the most sought-after cities in America. You know, nowadays, to go down there and party at the strip club, the King of Diamonds. You got South Beach. I mean, you got DJ Cali a little bit. I mean, it's the life.
It's actually a long shot. It's like when, you know, you have a great recruiting class and you like, you know what, I want to put the cherry on top of this pie to close it. If we don't get it, we're still good. But if we get it, we might go to another level. I'm thinking, because this guy, like, he's ranked from the numbers. He looks really good, man. I seen some tape on him. He looks good. And you know, it's kind of hard to get a Florida guy away from Miami, like you said, man. To come to Baton Rouge.
To come to Baton Rouge, right. And then he could go into Miami and automatically just walk on and be that guy. I mean,
that guy, Hurricane tradition and all that. Yeah,
come on, man. That's tough. That's tough. I don't know. If that was my kid, 100%, I'm telling them to go to Miami.
Yeah, because they said he was walking around the campus and like, yeah. And then he went to Miami, like, man, palm trees.
It's the 9-day difference. You know, it would almost, and listen, this is no disrespect to the SWAC, but it's almost it's almost like if I've been on SWAC visits and I've been on D1 visits, right, out of high school. I mean, the difference is night and day. You go from like, you know, like I'm looking for Russell Crowe when I pull up at like Southern or Grand. You know, I'm looking for like the Gladiator, like, you know, they got stone weapons on the wall. And then you go to like a D1, even a lower level. I went to Bell, and Bell wasn't even like, you know, on the radar at the time. But just going up there, the experience was just way different. And no knock on Southern, it wasn't bad. It was, you know, they didn't have like sharp metal objects hanging, you know, protrude from the walls and nothing like that. But I mean, they did have some duct tape on a few pieces of equipment. And I guess, it could happen to anybody, I guess, you know, whatever. But I mean, you go there, it's just a night and day difference. So, you know, when you factor that out to compare it to this comparison, you got, you know, Puerto Rican women on rollerblades on a beach and, you know, all kind of Bugattis and Lamborghini. You're right. And then
you just sold him. Thank you for just pushing that guy to Miami, because if he listens to this any kind of way, he going to
Baton Rouge, and you got old schools on 28s playing Boosie. I mean, come on, bro. It's not even come on now.
Yeah, you're right, man. I can't even reply to that one, Q, because he hit the numbers right. It's hard to get a Florida kid out of there. But what we can do is win the in-state battle. So every top Louisiana prospect from north to the south of the boot, we need to get. I don't know how it don't seem like we recruit as much up north Louisiana like we used to. But we need to get back up there around West Monroe and Bastrop and all that to get some of them those guys too.
We know
Yeah,
that's Texas.
yeah,
That's Texas territory.
right.
That
We
almost
got to
runs
flip it. We
like
got
the
to win it back.
football, huh?
We got
Like
to
the
win it back.
yeah, like the NFL.
Yeah,
If you're in Shreveport, you a Cowboys fan.
yeah, I know.
Yep. So I mean, yeah, that's how it is. Unfortunately.
Yeah,
Yeah, that all comes with winning and establishing the culture of women and winning. And you seen it how it played out. I just showed an article showing that right now Coach O's kicking ass with that 2022 class, and the last couple of classes that Coach O has been recruiting have been stellar. So we can get the most out of these guys. We change the coaching staff up, and we getting a little bit more inventive. And everybody has a chip on their shoulder. Nobody's coming off something where it feels like it's given or they're going to bow down to us. No, it's like we got to earn this again. We got to prove to ourselves that that we this is what it is, and we got to establish a floor and in a steady culture of winning matchups in the SEC and ultimately playing for championships. That's what it comes down to. So let's
Unless
look
you're
at
Alabama. If you're Alabama, they rank you number one no matter what.
exactly because that's what they
Doesn't
set up.
matter.
You're right. And how long did it take for them to do that? When perpetual winning over and over again, winning all these championships, it becomes easy at a time where you have two second and third stringers that are 5-star, 4 and 5-star athletes who are
Yeah.
just sitting there waiting for an opportunity for the first group of 5 stars to get. I mean, so all this, it comes to you, but you have to beat the big boys. You have to be able to beat Alabama consistently and bat them down. You got to be able to beat Florida. We have to take it to Florida. We have to take it to Alabama. We can't let Texas A&M and these teams play with us. We have to stump on these teams. We have to be competitive with these games here. We have to take care of business. So let's look at the schedule here, family. We're gonna kind of look at the schedule, and then we'll get a mindset of a player from each one of the family members, from either GM Kev and Uncle Mozzy, about who they think steps up for the or who they like from the LSU depth chart. I'll show you guys an unofficial depth chart for LSU right now. So we got on screen right here. This is the 2020 schedule analysis, and we won't go over the complete breakdown of everything. But as you know, you see that opening game week 1, fellas, September 4th at UCLA in Pasadena, opening up against them guys there. And then, of course, we have a couple of matchups with McNeese State coming back home, and then Central Michigan, and then, of course, Mississippi State on the 25th in that month. So Auburn is in Baton Rouge is there. Kentucky, we go up there. Florida, that's a big one. Remember, we got to take care of business against Florida. Florida is one of those teams that's given us, that's been very competitive. Dan Mullen has been pretty good since going over to Florida. He's really stepped their game up there. And then we have Ole Miss, which, you got Kiffin doing his damn thing. And, of course, that's the big one, November the 6th against Alabama. And this is in Alabama. So if we got to take it to them guys up there, we got to play big and get this one from Nick Saban. And, of course, November the 13th is Arkansas and Baton Rouge. November the 20th, ULM. And then, of course, week 13th, Texas A&M to close out the season once again. So as you can see, there are a lot of games, man, in here. But the big games, obviously, you're looking at, Alabama. You're looking at Florida. These are contests that we have to take care of business in. And then we play Florida and Alabama within 3 weeks of each other. So, and then, of course, Ole Miss is not a walkover anymore with Lane Kiffin there, and how he was able to get Ole Miss to step their offense up and how they played last year. So they got some tough battles for the LSU schedule. What you guys think about this? We'll start with you, Mozzy.
Well, I mean, the beginning of the year is going to be, with the exception of UCLA. I don't know how that's going to go. I believe it's our first time playing. We in the Rose Bowl. Are we playing in the Rose Bowl? Is it not our first time playing in the Rose Bowl or seeing that team? It's something like where it's our first time doing it. I don't know how that's going to go. And for me, that's going to set the tone for the whole season. I hate when they set us up. I don't know if you remember they do these trap games with Wisconsin. I hate playing. Like I hate Wisconsin. Like I hate Wisconsin on the schedule. It makes me so angry when I see Wisconsin on the schedule. And this like screams Wisconsin to me. So
let me ask you this. Hold that thought for a second on my Uncle Mozzy, because you just spurred something. Let me ask you this. Remember 2 years ago for the national championship run, we opened the season up against Texas.
Yeah, I do, and we barely won that game, but it did.
I know.
That started the Joe Burrow. Yes, it did.
Right.
It did. But hey, man, it's a 7:30 trap game. If we get past that game though, this is the good thing, right? looking at McNeese State, Central Michigan, and even Mississippi State. Those are two cakewalks and one should win. But it gives us our chance to get our bearings, so we come out strong, have a real strong off season, real strong camp coming out, play UCLA. Take their best punch in the face, because they will. If they're not in the top 25, they'll definitely be top 50, 60 team. Really good team. So we'll take that punch in the face, and then we can, whatever we do, good and bad, we can learn from that, walk away from it, and then we can hone those skills against weaker opponents in both McNeese and Central Michigan before we go out to the battlefield and face Glass Joe in Mississippi State. And then the real season begins for me October the 2nd. But we'll know exactly what we're made of September 4th. Even if we lose, though, God forbid, it'll be an early enough loss for us to regain with some really cleanup games coming the 2 weeks after that, for us to kind of claw our way back in it. And that's what I'm hoping. But if we can get past UCLA, we should go into that Auburn game 4-0 from where I'm sitting.
I'm saying I agree with that. I think 4-0 it is, and I'm not saying it as an optimistic LSU man. What I'm saying is I think they can beat UCLA. I think they can go out there, and I think that defense fires off. It knocks them around. The secondary helps cover up that passing attack. I don't see we dominate UCLA, but most certainly I think the LSU has what it takes to win on the road. And of course, they playing with a big chip on their shoulder after that 5-5 year. So I think UCLA is in trouble, in my opinion. But I get what you're saying on that. But go ahead, GM Kev, what are your thoughts on that, brother?
Yeah, I agree with what Mozzy said on that. That's going to be important because the atmosphere at the Rose Bowl is going to be insane, because, you're going to have people coming back from COVID. California going to be letting more people coming back into the stadium. And, yeah, that arena itself, man, is crazy, because I remember the days when USC was winning big and Reggie Bushman was down there, and it gets loud up in there, man. So, for this young team, it would be a great confidence booster to come out and win this game, because we got so many young moving parts, and it helps confidence if we come out and win this game. It's on the road, it's adversity, and I think if we can get past that and get that win, it's even going to set the bar even higher for us, I think, man. I think that's going to be a very important game before we even get to the SEC, and I don't know why the schedule is like this, where we have to go out there first. Man,
that's tough.
Who did that? Like, come on, man. But hey, we got to play what's in front of us, Q. So I don't know, man. I mean, of course they have the talent to win, but we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. Yeah, it's gonna be very crazy.
Wisconsin.
Well, I hope. Yeah, Mozzy, that's a tough one there. But like I said, with UCLA, man, with Chip Kelly running it, it's going to be interesting to see how it performs, man. And of course, I want to get some pay when we open up that SEC schedule against Mississippi State. We need some payback against Mike Leach's ads for what they did to us last year.
From last year, yeah,
because
absolutely.
they totally bottomed out for the rest of the year. But their biggest win was obviously against LSU, and they couldn't sustain that. But we need some payback up there in Starkville against him. And then, of course, we travel to Auburn and then Kentucky, and then, of course, the two big ones, two of the three. In my opinion, of the Alabamas, obviously, and then it's Florida, and of course Texas A&M on the back end, simply because we don't want to have no late losses. But listen, this is a very doable schedule, in my opinion, with those three tough SEC matchups. We have to take care of business. I'm just optimistic. I think we get it done. That's just my breakdown on it. All right, family, let's move to the next talking point, the final talking point. I want the guys to give me a player that they like on the team. Somebody, a surprise player that they like on the team that's coming in, whether it's the quarterback, wide receivers, who steps up. Give me a player or two. It depends on you guys who you think steps up and have a big year. Uncle Mozzy, we're going to start with you first on this one. Give me a player or two who you think on the LSU team, offense, defense, who steps up in a major capacity for the team in the upcoming season. Uncle Mozzy, you there?
Oh yeah, I mean it was the microphone had muted itself. I guess my face hit it or.
Did you catch the question?
No. Go ahead. Say it again.
Give me a player or two from the LSU current team. Who do you think that will have an impact? Offense, defense, special teams, doesn't matter. who do you think have a major impact on the LSU team coming up in the upcoming season?
Well, I mean, I gotta go with Stingley. I mean, everybody's got him circled. I mean, he's got the target on his back. I mean, we got to go with that. He's gonna have to step it up, and I think that he can ignite everything that we need. And I think that we've always been work outside and come back in. So I think that if he can get things going and we can kind of get behind him, and we can get some leadership going, because I think that the biggest thing we're going to have leadership. We're going to have somebody step up, somebody on either side of the ball. Doesn't matter, whoever it is. So if he can come in and step up and give everybody a spark, sort of like remember Tyrann Mathieu did and Patrick Peterson that did before him. So I mean, it could be done from that position, and I think that if he steps up, it'll ignite that side of the ball, and I mean everything else will kind of fall into place, especially in those games like that UCLA game where you're going to need some kind of veteran leadership, and you're going to need people to rally around, especially bringing in a lot of new recruits, bringing in a new offensive line coach, and just kind of implement some new things, rebuilding after COVID and a losing season with a national championship just 2 years behind you, trying to go back to that goal.
Very interesting pick there, Kamazi, with Stingley Jr. being that guy. Well, he's holding the all blessed number 7. So I guess they are looking for bigger and better things out of Derek Stingley. Of course, I'm big on Eli Ricks and Dwight McGothern, who GM Kev was big up in this past offseason as well. Cordell Flott. We have some ball players in the secondary for the Tigers, man. Todd Harrison, Jay Ward, the rest of them guys, man. Listen, I'm also big on Devon Q Strong, man. I think he will be, name is his game. I think he steps up, do some great things there. Anthony, I mean, it's quite a few people. Mason Smith is another guy a lot of people count on. But GM Kev, a player or two, who do you think have a big year for the Tigers?
I think if I'm going defense, I'll probably say Eli Ricks because he will have a year under his belt. And Stingley going to get a lot of attention, so teams going to go at Eli Ricks. So he's going to have a chance to, get his hands on a lot of balls, man. You see the skill. He's a 5-star recruit. So I expect big things from him coming to his sophomore season, right?
Right.
And on offense, I probably would take Max Johnson, man. I think he has this other gear, like where he can run and stretch the plays. So, you could draw up a playbook, and by his breaking down the defenses with his feet, he can extend plays that you don't see on the playbook. So that's going to be an exciting element for us. It keeps the chains moving. So I'm going to go Max Johnson and Eli Ricks.
Big names, big players. Max Johnson's probably the player at the most important position right there.
Yeah.
At the quarterback position, which we lacked that last year. And, of course, we know the big guy transferred up out of there. Miles Brennan was hurt for pretty much all of the season except for a handful of games. A lot of people not big on him, even though he's coming into his senior season. I thought he might transfer, but he's still hanging in there. But Max Johnson got him beat. He electrifies the offense. He can run. He has an arm as well. And then, of course, one of the top things, he has the NFL quarterback pedigree from his father, Brad Johnson. So, I mean, it's a lot going for Max Johnson, and it's very interesting to see him. Of course, I'm really interested to see what Garrett Nussmeier also does. Of course, we have future quarterbacks coming. But let me ask you guys this, the running game. Uncle Mozzy, you talked about the running game last year, that it being subpar or par of anything. It most certainly wasn't on the level of where we traditionally know LSU football running attack is. It most certainly there. What are you thinking about? Who you think who steps up in the running attack? Is it John Emery Jr. or TD Price? Who do you think?
I'd be leaning more towards Emery than Price. You see, that's a tough one there. Yeah, I'd lean more towards Emery than Price. I just think he's more durable. I think he's more durable, and I think that's what you're going to need, especially in August, September, when it's 120 degrees on the field. I think that's what you're going to need. Yeah, I mean, just being honest, I think you're going to need somebody that's a lot more durable and could be a workhorse. I don't think either guy is going to be a Clyde Edwards-Helaire. But I think that really is all dependent on how this offensive line is coming out, because we don't know what designer plays they're gonna call, what kind of elaborate plays they're gonna call, because we got a whole new system. So it kind of depends. We don't know what we're gonna get. I can only base it off what I saw last year, and what I saw last year from the offensive line. Emory Jr. is gonna be our best chance because he's probably gonna be the most durable if we get subpar blocking like we got last year. But if it turns around, then I mean it could really be anybody. It just remains to be seen. We won't. That would be a game time decision.
Yeah, I think a lot of people betting on Emory, man, to be the guy, even though TD Price is the heavy back, man, with the bull back that picks up the heavy yardage. Kev, coming to you, man. Who do you like, TD Price or Emory? Who do you think carries the bulk of the load for LSU's running attack?
Well, I'm gonna take it to another level, Q. John Emory is gonna be. We're gonna see a lot of him on Sundays, bro. So, with that said, this guy he's a game changer, bro. When I seen, if you see a player that has the ability to break it long, like I think it was the game against Alabama, he broke that long. Man, when you see a player that can do that, then now the offense, the coaches have to go put in the system to where we can get this guy open one-on-ones. I would like to see him catch, out of the backfield, run some routes as well because he can do that.
Yep.
So I don't know why they don't have a system where they can put him in those mismatches against linebackers, but I would like to see that more. But he's the type of back you will see on Sundays, man. He's going to be on the NFL team if LSU use him right. So, yeah, Emory is the guy, bro. But we seen that when he was coming out his senior year in high school, like this dude's going to be the guy. So, yeah, it got to be Emory.
Yeah, he had 11. He averaged I remember that game, like 10 or 11 yards ago carry.
Yeah, like
against,
you see a guy
against Alabama. Against Alabama.
Yeah, against Alabama. So on the national, when the lights are on, right?
Yeah.
So when you got a guy who can show you that potential, you got to design your offense to get him the ball more, and that's going to help out your young quarterback too, so he don't have to sit in the pocket and just wait. Quick reads, get it out, let him get one-on-one, turn up the field.
Yeah, like I said, 215, 220, he's going to give you that perfect balance of durability.
Right.
Where he's not going to be kind of heavy and he's going to get fatigued, and the fatigue is going to bring on one of those lazy injuries, those ones that you can't go anymore, that you're going to get from the bigger bruiser back. So, if he can get down maybe 210, 215 as a scat back, they can even line him out wide. He offers a wide variety of things that we can do. You got you got Mac Johnson and him. Maybe they can make some kind of connection. Definitely be a relief, a safety valve for him.
Absolutely,
it could bail him out. So I mean, he offers a lot. He's the guy that can run a quick screen, or he's the guy that can block, do a chip block and flank out, and he'll always be there. In case we just gotta dump it and pick up 2-3 yards or get out of bounds, stop the clock. He'll be that guy that can help do those things. He may not break it, may not be the fastest guy, break it around the end, 80, 90 yards, or be this big bruiser back. But in the grand scheme of things, he can do a lot really well, i.e. Reggie Bush, i.e. Darren Sproles. And this is what you're going to be able to get out of him if you use him correctly. So it's a lot of what ifs, but the potential is definitely there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that same way about you and GM Kev, how y'all feel about Emory, that he's the man to take that running attack and take onus of it. And then, of course, they'll have, how LSU likes to mix up its backs right there. And, of course, would benefit any running back, whether it's Emory Jr. or TD Price. Yeah, whether it's TD Price, is the offensive line. I mean, they get the entire offensive line back, and that's a big part of the stability for LSU. All of those guys coming back, that helps out Max Johnson. It helps out the running attack for those guys. Went through that struggle year, and they ultimately say, you know what, we coming back here, and we're gonna make some stuff. We're gonna make some stuff happen. All right, before we bounce out, fam. John, what's up, John? And versus C, big ups to the family members. Thank y'all for watching Tough Tiger Talk. Big ups to y'all. If you guys could put any team on the schedule, who would it be? I have a few. Tulane, of course, and maybe Iowa or Ohio State would be good matchups. We'll start with you, GM Kev, then Uncle Mozzy. If you could put, John's question is, if you could put any team on the schedule, who would it be?
I probably would. Yeah, Ohio State would be a good one. A lot of teams I would have picked. I mean, their quarterback is going to the NFL this year, so Clemson would have been a team, but they're having a new quarterback. Ohio State would have been one, but now their quarterback is gone. It's going to be real tough, man, because we got a lot of good teams we're going against in the SEC already.
Right.
So it's like, let's go Notre Dame.
I was thinking that. That's what I was thinking that, man. I promise you.
But we play them at LSU. We don't go up there. Let them come down here because that's a crazy atmosphere up there in Notre Dame. It's Catholics versus what it was? Catholic versus convicts or something. Like, they crazy up there, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy up there.
Yeah.
That's a good. Let me see who I would pick. Who aren't we playing? Who aren't we playing this year? Let me see. Let me get back to that schedule. That's a pretty good one. So we got UCLA, McNeese State. I don't want to see any of those people. Kentucky, Mississippi State, Alabama, Arkansas. Is there another SEC opponent I might want to see? No, let's see.
Not really.
Florida,
No.
Alabama, and Texas A&M. That's
let's see. You know who I might want to see him play? That'll be a real good matchup because they play almost no defense and their offense is 100. I like to see him play Oklahoma. I like to see our defense versus Oklahoma's offense because they don't play defense. So like I really like to see like that caliber offense against our caliber defense go head to head.
Well, you seen them 2 years ago. They got blowed up.
Well, yeah, I get it. But I mean, there's been a shakeup. You know.
There's been a shakeup since then. Yeah, but
there's been a shakeup since then, and it's also about where you play. So let's make it interesting. Let's say LSU played Oklahoma in Jerry's World.
That would definitely make it a lot. Make
you
it fun.
got a 50-50 fan base right there because Oklahoma, and you're going to have a lot of Oklahoma people go to Texas and a lot of Louisiana. That's a 50-50 split. I don't see who
not
has
a bad
the
call.
who has the home field advantage. That's a good one, Miles.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Big boy 46 Hard Knock says Penn State. Put Penn State on there. Put Penn State on there. Thank you, fam. Appreciate you.
They have been doing good recently, so yeah, they've been up there. So yeah, that'd be a good team too.
I don't like and John, thank you for that, John. I'm not mad at the Tulane matchup. I think every couple of years Tulane should be on there just for the hell of having the in-state because Tulane making a come up too now. Tulane is trending up. They're not at the level of LSU, obviously, but they are making strides up there. They're making strides in New Orleans to do something. So just for an in-state rival, maybe a Tulane on the schedule. Perhaps we have some other schools that step in their game up as well, Law Tech and the rest of these guys. But it would be fun to see Tulane and LSU
wait a minute,
rivalry.
Wait a minute, brother. Wait, hold on. This is a black podcast, right? So how can we not say like Southern just so they can get the exposure and the money grab, and we can get some?
You can say Southern.
Come on now, wait.
You can say that, Uncle Mozzy.
For the morality cause, come on now.
Yeah, that's
for the
fine.
movement, BLM for the movement. So I want to see LSU play Southern in Baton Rouge, so like everybody can go enjoy. So I mean, man, you know what?
In the dome.
In the dome, I'm about to tell you. Let's go in the dome. Let's go in the dome. LSU Southern in the dome, and let's do it. Shit, I would have said we could do it maybe on around Halloween. That'd be dope. But the city,
you get lit. 2 Bayou Classics.
Yeah, we can go. Let's go
LSU
Southern. LSU Southern Halloween game.
Ooh, I like that, dog. I like it.
Yeah. Let's do LSU Southern Halloween game. Yeah. That'd be dope.
Hope somebody listening.
That'd
be nice.
That'd be nice.
But can they make the financials work? That's what it really comes down to. We know how that.
I don't think Southern will be, especially for the exposure. We're gonna nationally televise it.
Yeah.
So I don't think Southern will be opposed to it. Just off the TV exposure. For the cause. If they didn't accept it, I guess they would have to answer as to why they would turn down. I mean, I'm sure that ticket would be at least 1.5-2 million for the school, direct shot in the arm, because it'd be nationally televised. plus the fact that you get that exposure on your school, HBCU. You only get that one time a year on NBC, and nobody's really checking for you because that's the time of the year that people are having all of their conference, all of their conference championships. Man, nobody's checking for you on NBC. So, as I like to have it something just like that. Not too deep into the season where people are concerned with other things. Not early in the season where people are kind of like not checking for it because it's trash games, early. But let's put some build up on it. I don't know if they've ever played before, but that'd be great. That would be absolutely great for the culture, great for the movement, win-win for everybody.
Well, I know one thing. I don't know how the game would go, but I know that Battle of the Band will be lit.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
LSU versus Southern Band? Oh, my God. Come on, let's bring it.
Yeah. That'd be good. You know what? That'd be good for the culture. But you need to pitch that. We need to start there. We need to start a petition.
Yeah, I don't know why it hasn't happened. That's a good one.
Yeah, we need to start a petition.
Q, you on it, man?
I'm on that. I would love to see that happen, man. That'd be really entertaining, man. To see.
Yeah, let's get that petition.
The game wouldn't be that entertaining because it'll be a flat line, but I still enjoy the halftime though.
I just want to see the Battle of the Bands, man. That's what I want to see, man. Yeah,
because ain't nothing on the field. That's going to be absolute annihilation. But outside of that, but the Battle of Bands would be fun. So I mean, just to throw at Southern some publicity, I'll ride with y'all on that, man.
Yeah.
That be what's up. It's only thing, man. It fall on that Monday, but I mean that still be cool because you can have it. You can kick it off on like maybe that Saturday night. That'd be dope. A Saturday night game in the Dome, nationally televised, and Halloween falls on the 31st, which would be that'd be next year on 2022.
But but hold on, Mozzy. You might be working the Saints people too hard because look, they got to clean up the field for the Saints game if it's the next game. Then come back and do it for the Bayou Classic, and they're like, hold up, man, we need overtime pay.
Well, hey, that's just what it have to be. But hey, I would love that, man. Can you imagine a 7:30 game in the Dome like that, man? That'd be crazy. That would be crazy. All the celebrities will come out. That'd be crazy. That'd be nice.
It would be. It's a lot of alumni from both schools, and that would be crazy. Hey, man, before we go, let's give some love to Satia Messer, man. Welcome her to the LSU family, coming from Baylor, the women's basketball team. So she's joining back with her old coach at LSU. They're trying to bring some championship seasoning back to the girls' basketball team. So, man, welcome, Miss Messer, and we're glad to have you here.
Big move, man, for women's basketball. To be honest with you, that's a big move, there, bro.
It is.
Huge move. Right. Yeah. That she's gone, man. Listen, man. That's nice, LSU swinging for the fences everywhere. The men's basketball team really stepping their game up. Women's is the women were pretty good already, and of course by LSU baseball they doing their thing. Football about to step it back up again. So a lot of great things happen on the campus in Baton Rouge. So with that said, man, we're going to tune out on that. Let's see. We're going to add Reese. Brandon says, if you're Greg Sankey and you had to add a team or two to the SEC, who would it be? I want Oklahoma. That's a good question, Brandon. Thank you for that. Brandon throwing in a really good question there on the back. And he says, if you're Greg Sankey and you had to add a team or two to the SEC, who would it be? I want Oklahoma and Texas. He says, and Texas, Oklahoma and Texas. What do you guys think about it quickly on this one? Uncle Mozzy, I'm start with you, then GM Kev. Adding two teams to the SEC, the commissioner, you the commissioner. Who do you add? Brandon says he wants Oklahoma and Texas. Who do you like? Those are two really good ones, about it.
Florida State.
Oh man,
that'd be good.
Florida State?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Florida State. And damn. I'm gonna go Florida State and Virginia Tech.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. All right. Kev, what about you, bro?
Well, no. It had to be balanced. It had to be an East and a West.
You want to be East and West team?
Right.
Okay, so you got to go.
So I'm gonna go Florida State for the East. and Florida State for the East and the West. I keep the Big 12 how it is. I tell you who I put in there, who I think will shake the West up a little bit. Definitely throw some excitement into it. And it's a school that could use the revenue. And it's a largely large black enrollment. The University of Houston, the Houston Cougars.
Okay.
Go ahead, Kev. What you think? So Uncle Mozzy has a Florida State and Houston.
Okay, for my East team, I'm gonna stay in the state of Florida with Mozzy. I'm gonna go Miami Hurricanes. Bring them over.
Miami. Okay. All right.
And our West, I'm gonna go tradition. Give us USC.
USC. Okay. All
Okay.
right.
It's kind of hard for the.
Yeah.
I was thinking that, but I was like,
Yeah.
It's not
We're going back
regionally.
out West again, so
Yeah,
hey, got to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
I like the Miami call. I like the Miami. I see y'all reaching that Florida State and Miami. Also like the Virginia Tech call. But I mean, listen, I would.
You don't want to go out West, Q? Out in Cali, man?
The farthest I'm gonna go out West, I would probably, because we was trying to get Texas. If y'all go back, it was we almost got Texas to come on over there to the SEC, and I would like to put Texas in the SEC, to be honest with you. And the other team that would bring some spice to the SEC would be Florida State. So to have Texas and Florida State in the SEC, man, that's hands down best. We already the best conference in all the land. But to add a team like Florida State and a team like Texas in there, I think that'll be my call on those two teams. Thank you, Brandon, on that. Appreciate that. That was a really good question. And John said, T says, I would take two from the Big Ten, Ohio State and Michigan. Damn, you talk about powerhouse conference.
Now, here's the cute thing about that. This is the key. Can we play them both earlier than later? Because later in the year, it gets cold and snow down there, dude. So we need to play Ohio State and Michigan early in the year. Yeah, Michigan.
Yeah, you're right.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy up there.
We definitely have to do that. What about TCU?
TCU, they got a good program.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that too.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good call, Uncle Mozzy. TCU.
I like TCU too.
Another one. Because I'm trying to get some colleges that really ball, but they just don't get. Another one. University of Memphis. They real good too. They got a good program out there too.
Yes. University of Memphis. Yes. Yep.
So,
how about we kick Tennessee out and bring the University of Memphis in?
Hey, you know what? I would go for that. I would definitely go. We could really kick Missouri out too, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we
can kick them out and put TCU in.
I'm with that. They can have that shit. I'm good with that.
We got enough Tigers, man. What they doing?
How do y'all feel about this?
We got three damn Tigers in the SEC, man. Somebody got to change their name, and it ain't gonna be us.
Well, how do y'all feel about this when you change the style of play? If you want to add seasoning to it, what about Oregon? How they play?
Yeah,
because they use more spread
that's
out.
A little outdoor GM Kev. That's
but like, hey, we might we need to go up there, man. It's pretty up there, man. So like the Pacific Northwest is beautiful up there. Blue water, you know what I'm saying, man? Like that'd be cool,
Yeah.
I
take SMU if they could ever get back to what they were back in the 80s before the
They used to be good. Yeah.
SMU was pretty good.
Yeah, the old Mustangs. But that's going to do it, family. I appreciate y'all for joining us for this installment of Tough Tiger Talk, man. We covered a lot in the show. I appreciate the family members. I appreciate the family members dropping in there as well and dropping some knowledge. I appreciate the Tough Tiger Talk family for joining us for this episode. Please feel free to hit the like button and subscribe. If you aren't a subscriber, feel free to share the show links in your social media feed. And Uncle Mozzy, GM Kev, all regular contributors on Tough Tiger Talk. I'm Big Q, and we'll be back next week on Tough Tiger Talk Tuesdays. I know that's a lot of goddamn T's, but that's how we handling it. Every Tuesday, right around 8 or 9, just check your, make sure you keep, hit that notification bell so you get your notification. That will be chiming in every Tuesday night on Tough Tiger Talk Tuesday, breaking it down until the season starts. So, man, listen. With the C-19 stuff behind us and full seasons coming back and full stadiums again and everything, and hopefully we don't have any funny business and we can get some, football and not have that over our shoulder and we could just focus on what's going on in the field. Hopefully we can have a really good year. LSU comes back to prominence. After that 5-5 season, we refine our focus and we kick some ass this year. How about that? So with that being said, I appreciate Uncle Mozzy and GM Kev for chiming on this edition of Tough Tiger Talk. And I appreciate you guys as well. So with that being said, fellas, I appreciate y'all, and I'll see y'all on Tough Tiger Talk Tuesday. So much love to the family. Appreciate y'all, man. And we'll holler at
it's
y'all
all
later.
good, man. I love coming on here talking about Tigers, and it's almost that time. So,
Yep.
It's time to get in gear for it, man. I'm ready.
Yep. All right, fam. We holler at y'all.
All right,
All right,
peace.
man.
Yeah, we'll see y'all next Tuesday. And go, and like the immortal words of Coach O, go Tigers.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the